In this video, we're going to look at Ohio State and one dimension that sets them apart from a few other teams. Right here, we're going to talk about the quarterback run. And what they're end up doing here on this play is they're running outside zone that direction. I'm not sure if they checked to it or if they just knew whenever they got into this ace set where they have two tight ends right here, just two wide receivers right there split evenly. If they knew that to the boundary they're going to have their numbers. But Indiana here, they rolled their safety down. They've got one extra defender over here. Got good leverage there from the outside backer. So we probably don't want to run outside zone that direction. If you look up top over here, they've got either a 6 or a 7 technique right there where it's going to be an easy double team for that tackle and tight end. They're actually working for the inside backer, knowing that they've got a running back coming for the kick on the alley player, which is that outside backer right there. But we'll look at it and you can see, obviously, Justin Fields being the athlete that he is and that they like to get him into the run game. Right there, really good double team. Gets his outside or inside shoulder on him so he can work up to that backer. The running back right here is working to try to kick, hopefully getting placed out of shoulder. He actually just gets square on the guy, but still ends up getting that guy kicked just enough to give Justin Fields that alley to run vertical right there. There's the great double team. They got up to the middle backer, and the only other block that they really need right there other than just reaching is this guard trying to reach this 2 technique or 3 technique, and he ends up kind of whiffing on him, loses his base, but that guy ends up going into that A gap, so that ends up giving them just enough space. Again, having a good athlete there at quarterback to make a play and get vertical on the outside zone right there into the boundary out of an ace set. And they do it a few other times in the year, and we'll take a look at those as well. Here's another look of outside zone against Indiana. Again, an ace type set right here with fullbacks actually off the ball instead of on the ball on this play. And what they end up getting is actually get a cornerback fire right here, and he does a really good job of setting the edge. He ends up cutting the tailback, but we'll play it, and you can see he's coming to sit to block whoever the alley player is, and this time it just happens to be the corner that's firing right here. He does a great job of condensing this gap, and then he ends up just cutting the tailback right there, trying to turn everything back to the rest of the linebackers and the DNs and everybody that's running. Right here, this defensive end right here actually slants, helps the tackle out and everything. The fullback and the tackle right here is supposed to double right there, probably to that linebacker. He ends up slanting, so that tackle is able to reach him pretty easily. There he is. He's already reached basically just from that slant. He's going to work straight up to that outside backer. The guard and the center, they're going to double the down lineman right there up to that backer right there. Not sure. I don't think they get to him right here. They end up just having a lot of stuff kind of jumbled up, and he kind of gets caught up in the trash. But the main thing right there that ends up happening is that corner fire, and they end up setting the edge pretty quickly, condensing all that, turning it back, and trying to get it back to those D linemen and linebackers that are running. They set the edge right there, and obviously these D linemen and linebackers are running, trying to keep him from getting the first down or getting in the end zone right there in the red zone. But right there sets up for a big 4th down, and the very next play they ended up running a play action off of it. So as you can see, this is the very next play. Similar set, they end up moving. Obviously, last play he was right there on his heels. They move him back a couple yards. They end up shooting him to the flat set direction. These guys basically zone that direction. He down blocks right there. He runs a bit of a corner. He's got outside leverage, so it's really hard to kind of get open on that. And they've got a drag right there. Quarterback takes a couple steps, and then he rolls that direction. Tailback's faking right there, hopefully trying to take his man with him. But right here, we'll play it. You can see 1-2. There's the fullback coming across. He should probably square this guy up so he can get a 2-way go, either that or kind of inside release that to try to go to the top of him and turn it into more of a corner route. But he kind of plays slow and allows him to continue to keep his leverage, and he never really beats him on that route going to the flats. There's the fullback right there. Got an outside backer that's going to stick with him. He's rolling across. There's an extra safety there that kind of jumbles all this up. But still, with all that being said, you've got Justin Fields, one of the best athletes right there, one-on-one with the middle linebacker. And possibly he ends up getting an option right there to throw it. Should continue to stretch this wide to get away from all this other trash. Right here, he ends up turning up a little bit too soon. Stretch this wide to get away from those guys to begin with. So it's more one-on-ones as opposed to two-on-ones. But right here, as you continue to play it, you can see the fullbacks guy kind of comes off of him, tries to play Justin Fields, and they just miss it just by a little bit. I thought it was kind of interesting play action right there that they play action with a quarterback, very similar to what Florida's done in the past. Obviously, kind of an Urban Meyer coaching tree, and Dan Mullen and those guys do that stuff at Florida as well. and you can watch it right here with the cross. There is a little bit of a look right there if you could hit that cross with that safety flying a little bit, but that's a pretty tight window. I would have told Justin Fields, obviously, hey, keep stretching this thing. Worst case scenario, you're going to be one-on-one with that middle linebacker. Right there, we're turning up a little bit too soon, stretch that thing wide to begin with. Still get a guy open, just miss him just by a little bit. But you can see what they wanted to do right there, why they called it on a 4th and 1. They thought they had something set up. They ran the outside zone to that side the play before, so now they decided to run the play action. Didn't quite work out for them right there. Pretty critical situation, up by 7 against Indiana in a big game with about 5 minutes left. Here's another quarterback run, red zone goal line for Ohio State. They're actually in an unbalanced set right here. They got their tight end and fullback over here, wide receiver over here on the ball so they can motion. I believe this is another tight end type body over here. He motions in from that receiver spot, brings the corner with him that's man-to-man. He ends up blocking the defensive end. The tackle ends up blocking the man over the top of the wide receiver and ends up leading there with the tailback for any linebacker that might scrape over the top. And we'll play it real quick. You can see there's a good down block, cut off penetration. Get that strong outside arm, roll your hips outside. There's the puller right there. He pins that corner right there, thinking that this wide receiver might pop there and then slip or something like that for the play action. He's still mashing that guy, trying to play man-to-man, and right there he ends up reaching him. Here's the tailback going to lead right there. The only guy that can even get to the alley right there is that backer, and he ends up getting a body on him right there. Justin Fields for an easy touchdown. Just gives them a different dimension right there. The rest of the whole line, they're just zoning that direction, trying to get a body on body and make sure there's no run through, and give Justin Fields a chance to get into the end zone right there. Here's another play action off of the quarterback run for Ohio State. It actually just ran basically quarterback power right here in the same set. They got their tight end fullback right here and tailback. So they're basically running power and leading him in there like he's the guard. They motion the slot receiver right here just in a little bit so he can get this drag. This guy right here, he had been down blocking all that stuff for the power or duo or whatever, and he slips that guy. This corner right here, his eyes are into the backfield, so he ends up not seeing him. But right here, just a little bit of motion to get him a little bit tighter. Catches it, gets about a step or two, very similar to what Tebow used to do. Gets his shoulders down, and right there he slips behind that corner. You can see it right here, that corner's eyes in the backfield. He's obviously manned up on him. Slips behind him, now he can't see him. Just put it in a place where the defender's not for an easy touchdown right there. Again, it's a different element right here that Ohio State can play with that other teams can. I know Clemson does, Alabama doesn't, and I think Notre Dame does it just a little bit as well. But right here, just the threat of the quarterback run, and they've shown that look in this game previously, allows those guys to get an easy touchdown.